Hello, everybody. Welcome into Tiger Talks Wrestling. You see there at the top of the show, this wasn't originally exactly how we had planned to start this show, but unfortunately, we've lost some big names in sports entertainment and entertainment altogether, really, this past week. You didn't see any pictures of them there, but we can't forget Malcolm Jamal Warner, of course, from the Cosby Show fame, that we lost as well this week, Ozzy Osbourne, and, of course, the Immortal Hulk Hogan, which is huge. And this is Tiger Talks Wrestling. And when you got anything that you talk wrestling, one of the first names that comes up in anybody's mind wrestling wise, to me, it's always been Hulk Hogan.
I'm going to say this, and this is just me. 1985, right before WrestleMania kicked off, I met the Immortal Hulk Hogan at Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, Long Island. And that was the world to me. I mean, I met Hogan. I met Randy Savage. I met Randy somewhere down the road. I met Andre. I can admit it. I believed in saying my prayers, eating my vitamins, and believing myself. The man, Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania, I loved. Terry Bollea, a different story.
Terry Bollea.
Because
Right.
that's not the man I knew. I knew his name was Terry, but I never knew the way he was. That when his career was over and he started doing this weird stuff with the racism, doing this stuff that, was not Hulkamania like. Great memories of Hogan, of me, dressing up like Hulk Hogan as a kid for Halloween. I think I did that 15 times. So,
Oh, jeez.
yeah, I was bad. My mother used to get mad because she used to buy me white shirts for school, and every time Hogan came on, I used to rip them off and do the and like that, But
The Hulk Hogan fellow.
I lost my childhood Thursday, and we could talk memories about him, his matches with his match with Andre at WrestleMania 3, his match with Savage at WrestleMania 5, the Ultimate Warrior match at WrestleMania 6, the Mega Powers, which still shocks me that the entire Mega Powers group is now up in heaven. It still gets me to this day. Hogan's worst match was against Brutus the Barber Beefcake at Starrcade 94. I still think, what the hell was that? But that was Hogan. He wanted to give that match. Hogan did some stuff in WWF that was wrong, when he interfered in the World Wrestling Federation Championship match at WrestleMania 9 when he won the belt from Yoko, and didn't want to drop it to Brett at SummerSlam, and that was wrong. But if you look at the industry of wrestling in the 80s, it wasn't really that popular until the Rock and Wrestling Connection. Hulk Hogan made that happen.
Yes.
When he teamed up with Mr. T. Hogan forming the NWO in 1996 at Bash at the Beach. Did anybody think at that time that the love of the Hulkamaniacs will see Hogan don this? No.
Right.
Nobody thought that. Hogan had some great moments. Hogan had some bad moments. One of them were, again, Brutus the Barber Beefcake and him at Starrcade. And Thunder in Paradise.
Yes.
Worst show ever. It showed that Hulk Hogan was good in the ring and good on the mic, but when it came to movies, Hulk Hogan really bombed out. And I know, and I'm
Well, I
sorry
mean,
if
he
I,
was pretty good in Rocky.
and a good rocker too. I understand that, but I'm sorry if I'm talking a lot about Hulk. I know I had some hate. I was hating on him, but it was his personal life, not his entertainment side. I just didn't like that side of Hogan. And rest in peace, brother. Thank you for the memories that you gave me and my mother and my grandmother. And this even hits hard too because I feel like I lost my mother again.
Yeah,
You know,
and it's rough. Um,
it's and the other thing I gotta say about Ozzy, loved Ozzy's music, loved him in Little Nicky. Guy was at WrestleMania 2 with the Bulldogs when they faced the Dream Team for the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championships with Captain Lou Albano. And who could not, man, even Theo Huxtable. Yeah, this week has been really rough because we lost three guys that were a part of my childhood. And I know, Tony, you must have the same way because these are three guys that were a part of our childhood back in the day, and now they're gone. You
when
know, that's yeah, that
yes,
that that's 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 really shocking. And you know, thank God we still got Ric Flair. I don't know how we do, but we still got
woo,
Slick. We still got the Nature Boy, and I know if he ever passes, it's going to be even harder because if you look at the 80s and 90s, there's some guys that are immortal, and I'm not trying to use Hulk Hogan's saying. Hogan, Flair, Sting, and then when you go to the Attitude Era, you got Shawn and you got Austin, and there's some guy Taker. You got some guys that are pillars in the wrestling world. So when you see Hulk Hogan die, you lose one of them pillars, and now we just remember him with his matches. And some are good, some are bad, but it was the way of life in the '80s, and he's up there with Andre, and I know him and Andre drinking a bottle of wine. And
sure.
what better way? What better way to celebrate it? And now we should not know how much Randy Savage is going to hate him now that he's up there with Liz. So so it's going to be the mega powers explode in heaven.
Mega powers, and yeah, or perhaps they patch things up there. Who knows?
Most definitely.
But yeah, build off a little what you're saying. Of course, as mentioned, Malcolm Jamal Warner. Remember him as Theo Huxtable. Great character that he played as a kid growing up. You see him grow up on that show from a young age up until he was damn near an adult, pretty much. Um, he was a good guy. Otherwise, I know I've seen a lot of different things that he's done besides that, but great person that lost too soon. Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness himself, all kinds of great music that we've had from him. One thing that will always stick out in people's heads, I feel like, with Ozzy was the one concert where he took the bat. You know where I'm going with this. Bit the bat's head off. So Ozzy was a different fella, I guess you could say, but eccentric, if you will. But he left an indelible uh, footprint, if you will, on music from his genre. His kids, his family will all miss him. All of the fans will miss him, and rock and roll will miss having Ozzy Osbourne around. I feel like as well.
It's all right. We still got Gene Simmons.
Then what else do you say? Yes, we do. We still got Kiss. What else do you say about Hulk Hogan that you didn't mention? The man main evented so many WrestleManias, especially those first 9. He was what 6 of the first 9 or 7 of the first 9 he main evented. Eight
of the first 9.
Yeah, sounds about right. If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, where would WWE be? Would we have a WrestleMania without Hulkamania? Put that out there. As you mentioned, Hulk was a big part of the rock and wrestling connection that kind of made WWF at the time start to gain traction and become into the juggernaut of promotion that we now know it. So he definitely had, like you said, some stinkers of matches, had some great matches, but
and he also helped WCW on the map too. If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan in 1994 going to WCW, I don't think WCW would have survived even in the early 90s because they were WCW. Yeah. I don't think if Hogan didn't go to WCW and stood retired, I think WCW would have been done in 96.
Probably. Because when Hogan jumped ship over to WCW, that's when you finally see Turner bring in WCW Monday Nitro as well. That wasn't really a thing at that point in time because it was just WCW Saturday Night that you seen on TV at that point. So it brought a lot of heads over to Turner Broadcasting and a lot of fans to watch. And like you mentioned, the joining the NWO, kickstarted the Monday Night Wars. Huge ratings war, wins for WCW. I mean, 83 weeks, which of course Eric Bischoff now has his 83 Weeks Later show podcast. All that doesn't happen without Hulk Hogan at the forefront. So, love him or hate the man behind the character, Hulk Hogan is a huge icon that will definitely be missed in the wrestling community.
Most definitely, and then we could go bounce on that with the NWO. We will never have D-Generation X. Without the NWO, we will not have D-Generation X, Evolution.
Right. That is true.
Without...
We may have never had...
I mean, if you look at the NWO, if Scott Hall and Kevin Nash came back, the original plan, because Hogan was leery about turning heel, I get it. He's the red and yellow all the way, baby. It was going to be Sting as the third man of it. I mean, how the hell would that work? Because, yes, Sting is the franchise, but Sting never teamed up with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. They were WWE guys. How would that work out? I don't think the NWO would have even made it a month without Sting being like, I can't do this. This is not me. I mean, we would not even get, and I'm going to say this, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. People could tell me if I'm wrong. Will we ever get the Crow Sting if Sting didn't turn heel?
No, I don't think we would have.
We would have had the Beach Blonde.
We would have to change up his character somehow.
Yeah, we would have had the Beach Blonde Surfer Sting that was before that. And I don't see it how it will work because a WCW, the franchise Sting, teaming up with two WWE guys who were previously WCW, and please don't get me started about Vinny Vegas and the Diamond Stud, or Oz, or the Master Blaster, or whatever the hell their names were. Yeah. The wrestling world lost one of the greats. And I'm going to do this right now while looking up to the sky. What you going to do when Hulkamania runs wild on you, brother? Rest in peace.
Let's rest in peace. Hulk will definitely always be on the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
I'd rather have Hogan on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling and not Donald Trump. I'm sorry. Because I know he wants to be on that really bad. Yeah.
In and out there. Hold on. Whoops. Trying to do something and then it cut you off.
Life.
All right. I know, right? All right. Well, we could talk endlessly about Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne, but we are here to give our review for SummerSlam in preparation for next weekend's SummerSlam, of course. So we're going to jump in to that. Before we talking too much about it, of course, last year's SummerSlam, well, it was the first for us as we did a watch along live from your apartment there, Eddie. All four of us sitting in your living room watching SummerSlam, gave our live reactions. Was it 4 or was it 5? John's wife, I think, was there too. One of the
it was. It was amazing. We had the whole crew here, and that was the last time we saw each other until last Wednesday.
Actually,
Christmas.
John and I came over back in November. I think was the last time each other for.
I thought it was around Christmas time. That's the last time that we saw each other.
It was back in December. We went 7 whole months without seeing each other. We can't should do that again.
Yeah, it must have been
year, that's for sure.
It must have been a custody battle that we're trying to see who wants us.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right. But we never really gave our reviews on that SummerSlam because we figured we'd do something like that this year. Last year, of course, we did our retrospectives of all the SummerSlams leading into SummerSlam. So we're going to take you back to Cleveland last year and talk a little bit about what we've seen transpire at SummerSlam in 2024 after I see what this first comment is. Put my comment up there. I left before the show started. Rest in peace, of course, to Ozzy and to Hulk. They got GQ Barbecue in there. Hulk was a good wrestler, but Terry Bollea was a trashy person. Yeah, we won't go too far into that, but yes. I read that. Don't worry. I know it's the truth, and I will mention it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, SummerSlam last year, of course, kicked off with the Women's World Championship on the line as we had Mommy, Rhea Bloody Ripley, trying to win back her title with Dominic Mysterio in her corner, going up against then Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. This was Rhea coming back from her injury from earlier in the year that Liv had caused backstage on an episode of Raw. Quite the interesting match, and of course the outcome here, I think might have been a little unexpected in some aspects for some people anyways, but we actually got to see Liv Morgan walk out still Women's World Champion thanks to a little help.
Oh, yeah. Which is, like you said, when Dom turned on Mommy, and Mommy is, it was a good match between the two of them. Dom was being dirty like he always is, and it was a good match to open her because, they are both great workers, and now a year later, Liv Morgan is not even on the SummerSlam card due to injury. And Dominic is wrestling AJ Styles. And Mommy's in a triple threat match for the same title with Io and Naomi. In New York and New Jersey. New Jersey. I just go talk, at MetLife. what a year a difference makes when somebody's injured and can't wrestle. And we'll see what happens this year. Last year was good for Liv, Rena, and even Dom. I can admit that. After that, Dom skyrocketed to the Intercontinental Championship, which for him it's pretty amazing. And maybe soon to be the Mexican heavyweight champion. Who knows?
Yeah, he should be. Speaking on that, before we go too much into this, did see Dom make this appearance in AAA. Apparently, got a huge ovation from the Mexican crowd. That show that they'll be doing, the AAA show coming up, will be on WWE's YouTube channel as well. Did see Triple H posted that on social media. So
nice.
It'll be interesting to see that fatal four-way for the AAA Mega Championship.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because you got Dominic and the Americano. Yeah. Because it's Dominic El Grande Americano. No, it's a fatal four-way.
Dragon Lee.
The other one? And El Vikingo's the one defending. Dragon Lee, yes, you're right. So
I do.
But yes, back to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do have one problem with that match.
Go ahead.
I still feel like Ludwig Kaiser should be in that match because he's working really hard this year. I think he should be in that match and not El Grande Americano.
Well, for some reason, I think Ludwig Kaiser will be in Mexico for that show. So,
wow. I mean, is he going to referee, or is it going to be a 5-way? Or, I got to know this stuff.
I think he'll just be a spectator.
Oh, okay. Damn. El Grande Americano.
But still, the greatest luchador of all time, don't you know?
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I think we might have had a little inkling of Dom doing what he did here because, of course, as we kind of preluded to, he turned on Rhea and helped Liv retain the Women's World Championship. What about what happened after the match, though, right in front of Rhea?
Gave her a kiss. Gave Liv her biggest kiss in the world.
Right in front
oh, my God. Hell, I would have kissed her. I don't think we've
seen a kiss like that on SummerSlam since Dean and Liz.
Yeah, I would have kissed her like that. I would have been okay with that.
No, careful. Trina might not have been.
Oh, God, no. She'll kill me. Like, what do you mean you're son? Have you looked at her butt in dungaree shorts?
Maybe. All right. Led to bigger things for Liv. Like you said, of course, Liv's out with an injury right now. Rhea will be probably, I think, I don't remember which night it is, but I think that'll be I think it's Sunday. Opening match for SummerSlam Sunday. The triple threat match for the Women's World title. I can see opening the show. Dom and AJ could be anywhere on the card. If not opening, who knows, but. All right. So from there, they went into the Intercontinental Championship match as we had Braun Breaker one-on-one with Sami Zayn, then champion. I think I could easily say this may have been, at that point, the breakout performance for Braun Breaker. He's kind of been almost like on a roller coaster since SummerSlam last year, I feel like. He's won the title, lost the title, won the title, lost the title. He's in a big spot right now, I feel like. and we'll talk more about his match coming up at SummerSlam this year. But this match, I feel like, was probably the biggest match at that point in time for Braun Breaker on the main roster.
my God, yes. God, yes. I mean, if you look at last year's SummerSlam, like we're reviewing, my God, yes. I mean, up and down roller coaster for him, and he's doing what he's doing now. Well, like you said, we'll talk about that match. I mean, he went from the mid card to the main event in a year. I mean, that is like, yeah. I mean, when you go out to the big dogs and stuff like that, that's like, oh my God, we're going against two of the biggest names right now in WWE, and yeah, I mean, what a difference for Sammy. Man, it's actually a letdown, and I don't want to say that. I love Sammy, but you go from that match with a major title on there to going to a guy that is trying to find himself in the company. And I'm not talking about Sammy. We'll talk about his match. I feel like it's a grade down for all the great matches that Sammy had last year. It's what a jump from last year to this year. It's a complete downgrade. I feel. I mean, and I'm not gonna say the person's name until you're ready to say that. But yeah, what a different opponent makes 1 year later.
Right. Of course, we are discussing it 1 year later. We're looking at it SummerSlam this year. Sammy, as you were just mentioning, goes from defending the Intercontinental Championship to facing Karrion Kross, who, as you're mentioning, kind of trying to find himself. He's in his final year contract-wise with the company, hasn't re-signed from last I've seen. Where do they go with Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn with this? Do they have Sammy win at SummerSlam, win this rubber match since they're 1-1 against each other, with Karrion potentially going out the door? Or does Karrion get the huge win, his biggest win on a PLE ever in WWE, and then ends up getting a new contract just before or after SummerSlam? Where are we going with this? At least it's got a good build to the match, I feel like.
Okay, so my opinion about this match. Listen, WWE, and this is something I'm going to say to you. Hear the crowd reaction. Hear what they think about him. Karrion Kross is the hottest thing going right now. You don't see it, but they're the ones that want him to get that push. So for me, I would give it
Right
to Karrion Kross and then re-sign him. But with WWE, they want to build Sami Zayn into something magical, but every time that they want to build him up to something magical, they cut him down. It's just the way it is. This one's a really confusing match because it could go either way.
And of course, later this week, we'll talk more on that match when we do our prediction show. But it's going to be interesting to see how things play out tomorrow night on Raw before we get to SummerSlam on Saturday and Sunday between Sammy and Kross. And then on the flip side, as we mentioned, it's been a roller coaster year for Braun Breaker. Won the title here at SummerSlam, lost it to Jay, won it back from Jay, lost it again to Dom at WrestleMania in that Fatal 4-Way, amazing Fatal 4-Way. But it's what happened from the night after WrestleMania to now that has put Braun Breaker in, as you mentioned, the main event scene. Whether or not that tag team match will be the main event of SummerSlam Saturday, I don't know for sure because Punk and Gunther is also on SummerSlam Saturday. I'm gonna keep saying WrestleMania instead of SummerSlam because this is the first ever 2-night SummerSlam.
It's fine.
But Still, it's a big match on SummerSlam card for him when he's going to be teaming with Big Bronson Reed to go against probably two of the biggest baby faces, I guess, if you want to call one of them that. Two of the most over superstars with the crowds, anyways. Yes, in, of course, the Tribal Chief, the OTC, Roman Reigns, and main event, Jey Uso. Yeet!
You
So, what happens with that? Of course, the question is, with everything going on with Seth Rollins, was this supposed to be the case for SummerSlam? Was Seth Rollins supposed to be in there instead of Bronson Reed? Where does all this play out if Seth Rollins doesn't get injured? Is Seth Rollins really as injured as what they want you to believe as well? But those are all questions we'll have to wait till next weekend to fully find out the answers to.
most definitely, we don't know what it is. To me, it looks like they had to put Bronson Reed in it, or even Braun. They had to put him in there because of Seth's so-called injury. We don't know what it is because they're not saying anything. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see in the main event of the. We'll see if we're going to hear burn it down, or is it just going to be him burning it down with crutches. So we don't know, but good for. On the other hand, good for Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker to get this match against two of the most popular wrestlers. And what better way to have somebody in your corner is the Oriole himself, Paul Heyman.
The Oracle.
The Oracle. Yeah, okay, yeah. Or the Oriole. Or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're Roman Reigns, you call him the dumbass. So
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I mean, he's been an Oracle sounds like he's a ballpark in San Francisco.
he's been so many things: special counsel,
Oh,
wise man, best friend.
yeah. But yeah, good. Like I said, good match between Braun and Sammy last year. It basically was it was a good match. I mean, Braun showed that he could handle it, and now he's skyrocketing to the top. To me, every time I see him, I always feel like they're doing that Batista run from back in the day with Triple H and him before WrestleMania 21. I always feel like Braun is the next animal. He's coming off that way. It's coming off in his aura like he's the next Batista.
He's almost the next big thing, as one might say too.
Most definitely.
Because if you're not a fan of Braun Breaker, if you haven't watched his stuff, you need to, because to me, Braun Breaker is a multiple-time WrestleMania main eventer in the making right now.
Oh my God! And plus, if you're having
it could be the first of those.
Plus, if you're having mat trouble, his family really knows all about it.
Yep, just ask his Uncle Scott.
Yeah.
All right. So then we go into a match that I think a lot of us were really looking forward to seeing at SummerSlam last year, because we were hoping the outcome would be what it ended up being, which is a good thing. We had the United States Championship on the line as Cleveland's own Logan Paul defended against L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Logan Paul, of course, was accompanied out to the ring by Machine Gun Kelly. A really good match, I felt like. Love him or hate him, in my opinion, Logan Paul still has one of the best matches on most of the cards that he's on. That's my opinion, anyways. And LA Knight really brought it here as well. I feel like this was one of, not the best, but one of the top 3-4 matches probably that LA Knight's had so far in this run of WWE.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I
Of course, it
agree with
also
you.
led to his first championship too.
I mean, I agree with you in all accounts of it. I mean, LA Knight winning his first title in WWE, and you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Logan Paul, man, this guy picks up when he had his match at WrestleMania with The Miz against Dominic and Ray. I was like, okay, what are we gonna get? This guy's a social media influencer. He's a YouTuber. I mean, I saw him box once, but I was like, okay, how would he fit in the wrestling world? He had surprised me when you could stand up to Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and stuff like that. It shows that you could be in that conversation as one of the few outsiders that can actually hands down protect yourself in the ring, because it is not something you think of. I mean, I know he's no longer with the company, but that Royal Rumble thing with Ricochet was one of the amazing things
Oh
I ever
yes.
saw at a Royal Rumble. And I don't want to do it, but ha ha! That was
Right?
amazing. And yeah, so yeah, I mean, that was amazing, and I'm happy for Ricochet. Getting pushed a little bit in AEW, but I would have, and I know that match with Logan wasn't really that good, but it shows that Logan's has come a long way to his first match. And yeah, I felt like this match was really good, and I can't wait to see what Logan does this year.
So the bad part about things, we fast forward a year here. The Seth Rollins domino effect really is what this plays out to. LA Knight, of course, had the match with Seth at Saturday Night's main event a few weeks ago, where Seth got injured. Seth was originally supposed to win that match. LA Knight was scheduled to get his win back here at SummerSlam. Unfortunately, with the injury, as of right now, LA Knight's not even on the SummerSlam card.
Yeah,
So he goes from a U.S. title match to not even being on the card,
yeah,
which is tragic.
it
To
is.
me, I'm sure some people feel this way and some people agree, but to me, the U.S. title reign that he had, holding that title through WrestleMania, become up since then, even after dropping the U.S. title to Fatu. LA Knight was in a spot and is still in a spot where he should have been the one to win Money in the Bank contract ladder match at Money in the Bank instead of Seth. Seth didn't really need it, in my opinion. I said it before, I'll say it again. LA Knight's here we are. Seth has that briefcase. Who knows if he'll be back anytime soon to cash it in? We'll just have to wait and see. And meanwhile, LA Knight's just in purgatory until whenever.
Yeah, yeah. What a tragedy! Like an injury, the Seth Rollins domino effect. Basically, yeah, it's a crying shame what happened. But I mean, look at Logan Paul. Like I told you this off camera when I text you, we don't know what's going to happen with that tag team match with Jelly Roll and Randy Orton with against Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre,
I
because
saw what Drew did.
yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, if that happens, what's going to be that match? Is it just going to be Jelly Roll versus Logan Paul at SummerSlam?
So I know that it sounded like from what Drew was saying, it's he didn't have his passport on him or whatever. But I'm sure WWE is going to do anything they can have to do to get Drew out of the UK in time to be back here for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Who knows? Drew could have actually knew when he's going to be back in the States anyways when he filmed that. I mean, look at the way Drew's been doing his social media stuff as of late.
I mean,
It's just to build to that match, I feel like.
I mean, he is one of the great social media icons. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but yeah, Logan, as you mentioned, kind of a little bit there. Logan teams up this year with Drew McIntyre to face Randy Orton and music icon Jelly Roll. So quite the difference of matches for Logan Paul. Goes from a singles U.S. title defense to a tag team match, but in my opinion, it's a bigger spotlight match for Logan Paul than what the U.S. title match was. No offense to LA Knight.
Oh no, hands down. We're not saying that. That's going to be a great acquisition for him. And what a way to go up against Jelly Roll, who, by the way, looks amazing. I saw pictures of him back 2 years ago. I mean, what a transformation, and
right.
I can relate. I mean, I can relate about how losing weight is. I feel good about myself, how I look. So I get it. It's hard to lose weight, and I have dropped 130 pounds. And last October, I was 480 pounds, and I feel great about myself. And I lost 130 pounds, and I know I'm saying this on Tiger Talk Wrestling, our show, but I want people to know it's very difficult to lose weight, but I did it, and I feel great about myself.
Right. It's good. Yes. Kudos to Jelly Roll on dropping all that weight. I know his main reason for doing it was because he wanted to have a match in WWE, and he's getting to live out that dream. So, congrats to him on that. And I know he's been putting in the work at the Performance Center. He moved to Orlando just so he can work in the Performance Center and get plenty of rep in before SummerSlam. So, this tag team match coming up, I feel like, is going to be a great match for all four of these guys. And Jelly Roll, I have a feeling, is going to surprise a lot of people.
Oh my God, he said he wants to do a top rope move. I'm like, okay, Vader. Please hope don't hurt yourself.
Right? Don't break the ring.
We don't. Let's say this: we don't want the. Yeah, we just want to make sure that the jelly don't fall out of the roll. So so please be careful.
That's a good one. Yes, that is true. All right. Great U.S. title match. We went from there. Well, I don't think I put her in there, but to the women's WWE Women's Championship match. You had the Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax, versus the Women's Champion Bayley. Then Miss Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton, of course, would get involved in this match. So, Eddie, you and I both, we've discussed this on several shows before. That whole title reign for Bayley, even that whole year, starting with promotions starting after the Royal Rumble when she won the Rumble. Terrible booking from WWE for Bayley throughout the entire thing. She had a great match with Io at WrestleMania when she won the title. But other than that, it just almost seemed like creative or somebody in WWE just didn't care about Bayley. And honestly, I hate to say it, I don't feel like it's improved that much. Will we see something different from Bayley this year at SummerSlam? I think we might see a different character coming out of SummerSlam for her, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Nia, on the other hand, had a nice run as Queen of the Ring and winning the title here, even though she had to have
Okay, there you go. Ah, you pinpointed it right on the thing. Um, yeah, what a year! What a year Bailey had last year, and it continued as a downfall this year. I mean, the woman wasn't even on WrestleMania this year. A kayfabe injury by the hands of Becky Lynch. I mean, that is so bad, and it's got even worse since then. She's not even in the picture of any scenario this year, and I've been seeing stuff online like after SmackDown, she confronted Lyra and she's acting heelish again. And I'm like, well, maybe that's best for her because her run as a face has been horrible. Nia Jackson, another way, I feel bad for her because she worked her butt off to look great, and now she's not even on the card. I feel like it's two different directions for two people that are talented as hell, and I mean it's a shame to see something like that happen, but it's the way in the land of WWE. The fresh meat comes in, and you get pushed to the side.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Unfortunately, at times, it was an okay match. Those two had. It was a. Don't get us wrong. We love Bailey. Um, it's just they don't seem to know how to work with her with this character, this version of Bailey. In my opinion, I guess. I love seeing the babyface side. Honestly, when you look at Bailey's career, and yes, she was great as a heel, and when she was the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion of all time, on as a baby face, and was probably one of the hottest baby faces. But you do have to remember that was a lot of it was in NXT before she moved up to the main roster. Yes, she had a decent run as a babyface to kick off her main roster run, but she wasn't getting the same type of crowd reactions then as she was in NXT before she got called up. Until she became a heel and then the transformation back into the babyface, but it just hasn't clicked quite the same.
Yeah.
So you might have a good point there. Maybe the heel turn could be incoming at SummerSlam this year, and maybe that's what she needs.
Okay, so here's another scenario. Her contract is up after this year. That's what I've been hearing. It's up after this year. Do you see her calling a certain CEO to go over there?
Possibly. I don't want to see that happen, honestly, but it could happen. I'm not even going to go there with my reasons why I don't want to see it.
No, no,
But
no. I feel the same.
we'll see what happens.
I see. I feel the same way with her. But if you look at the CEO's career with WWE, it's starting to turn that way for Bailey, and I feel like that's wrong. But look at the CEOs. Um, just this past weekend, she is now an 8-time. She's an 8-belt champion. 8 belts. And Bailey's still trying to find herself in a company that she won everything.
Mm-hmm.
The only title she haven't won yet is the new titles. Right. The United States and the Intercontinental titles. She wins that, she's the greatest of all time. It's a sad thing to say, but, maybe it's time for Bailey. That was her dream to be in WWE. She got that dream, but WWE don't want to do anything with her, which is sad. I mean, I don't understand it, but that's the way it is.
Right. It would be better for her to have a new home. We'll see. But All right. So we go from that match for the women's championship to another match that was very personal. We had Drew McIntyre, of course, versus CM Punk with special guest referee Seth freaking Rollins. All this stemming, I mean, this whole rivalry between these three lasted over a year, to be honest. While CM Punk was injured, of course, he still did the rivalry with Drew. Ever since he returned, he had the rivalry with Rollins. Still to this day, CM Punk and Seth Rollins have that rivalry going, really. That rivalry between those two kind of led to Punk's downfall in this match against Drew. Pretty decent match they had at SummerSlam. I wouldn't say their best match of the three, but it was issues between Punk and Rollins, kind of what led to Punk's downfall here. Quite the difference a year makes for these three guys, though, as we've kind of touched on already.
Oh, go on, yes. So let me take you back to last year's match. Typical referee against the enemies, and yes. Let me take you way back to 1997. At the Middlelands Arena in New Jersey, Bret Hart wins the World Wrestling Federation title from The Undertaker due to Shawn Michaels hitting The Undertaker in the head with the chair, and that's when you get DX in the Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. And yeah, so Shawn Michaels wrote this match, he produced it, he did everything to make it look like 1997, and then at Bad Blood we get the Hell in a Cell match between Punk and Drew, and man, I mean, hands down, that Hell in a Cell match was even brutal than the one when the Undertaker threw Mick Foley off of the cell. I mean, there was so much blood in that match, it was ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, I loved Punk and Drew's Hell in a Cell match. That was great. So we'll talk about it more here. Seth being out injured this year at SummerSlam. He is Mr. Money in the Bank. We don't know the extent of the injury. He could potentially show up and cash in at SummerSlam, either one of the two nights on whoever the world champion or WWE champion is. Drew, we mentioned, a tag match with Logan against Randy and Jelly Roll. The one we haven't talked that much about, we just kind of glanced over it a little bit. CM Punk goes from this match last year to the World Heavyweight Championship match this year against the Ring General. Punk hasn't had that many title matches since he came back to WWE, which is a big difference from how things went when he showed up in AEW. Put that out there. This is his first World Heavyweight Championship match since coming back to WWE. He had a WWE Championship match a couple months ago, but this is his first World Heavyweight title match. Do we see, we're not going to give a predictions now, of course, because we got the show coming up, but do we potentially see CM Punk win his first WWE Championship in well over a decade? Or does the Ring General add CM Punk to the growing list of legends that he defeats?
Oh, wow.
Is what the question is going to end up being from that match.
I mean, you already know who the wild card is of this match, and we don't know the extent of his injury. If this is all the work and he's not really injured, I do see a new World Heavyweight Champion, and then the cash in. If he's not injured.
Right.
If he's injured, I got to think about this when we do our prediction show. I don't know, because I don't know what the Seth factor is. If Seth's injured, we're gonna see Gunther retain. But if it's Punk, yeah, it's been over a decade. but that wild card with Seth is the one that is baffling me, and WWE's playing it off really well. If he's injured, he's injured, but he isn't, and this is just a work. This is going to be one of the wildest things that everybody thinks he's hurt, but he's not really. So I cannot wait. As of right now, I'm not, I don't know who I'm picking, but let's just say that to get people excited for our prediction show of SummerSlam this week. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting part with this one.
Yes. Yeah, and our prediction show will come up Friday night after SmackDown, by the way. So probably a 10-15 start time for that. That's what we had discussed. So, yeah, look out for that. But CM Punk goes from a high-profile match last year to the World Heavyweight title match this year. So another 2 back-to-back years that he's had big matches at SummerSlam, which isn't surprising. But speaking of the Ring General, he was in the next match. Eddie, I gotta bring it up because Gunther as King of the Ring went up against your boy Damian Priest, who is then World Heavyweight Champion. Our predictions last year at SummerSlam came down to match, and this was the second time, or the first, I believe, of twice, of 2 times last year that it all came down to your boy Damian Priest. And unfortunately for you, fortunately for me, Priest did you dirty because Priest got it beat. Sorry, I got to rub it in a little. But it's all good fun.
That's fine.
This was a pretty good match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And this was a good match for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was nice to see Gunther choke out Priest to get the win. There was some shenanigans in the match. I got to admit that Finn Balor did get involved. Led to the end of the Judgment Day, pretty much. But from there, I mean, we said, Gunther's defending the World Heavyweight Championship that he's lost and won back since then. In the night before against Aleister Black.
Is that match with Aleister?
SummerSlam card.
Is it going to be on the SummerSlam card or is it going to be at SmackDown?
I think they said it's going to be on SmackDown.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Let me know.
Okay, so like you said, I got it. I got the dirty shot because of thank you, Finn Balor, you dirty motherfucker. You know, if it wasn't for you, I would have won that. Hey, I picked Damian Priest. I've got the name of it, but yeah. I picked him because, no, everybody knows this. Damian Priest is from my hometown of Bronx, New York. I'm never going to bet on anybody that's not from the Bronx. You know, that's my hometown, baby, you know. I went over to the Grand Concourse. And I tried to find his name because he got his name put on the Grand Concourse, but it was on the other side. I'm like, damn, I wish I could take a picture, but I'm not walking 3 blocks, you know, just to find somebody's name. You know, but this one did me dirty because I'm like saying, you know, I wanted him to do it, you know, for the Boniquas, you know, from a proud Bronx person. You know, I love Damien because he is from the Bronx. He is from the South Bronx, and that's the hood, baby. I should know all about that. Should know about that all the time because that's my hometown. You know, and you know that's how I feel, and you know, hey, but at least Damian Priest has got a good consolation prize in Lola Vice because she actually confirmed that they're dating, and I'm like saying, what better way to grab a booty or win a championship? You got both. Congratulations.
Right? Yeah, that match is not on SummerSlam. It is on SmackDown. So goes from a world title match to not even being on the SummerSlam card as of right now.
It's all right. He still wins. He got all the vice. I'm good.
Yeah, because he's got Lola.
Yeah, I mean, hell, got rid of Kate Carter. What the hell's her name? Kate Carter. And now he has a girl that's a Boniqua.
Okay,
Yeah,
Carter.
yeah. I mean, she's
Boricua,
beautiful. She's
yeah,
beautiful, but my
yeah.
God, he went
It's
to a
beautiful.
Puerto Rican. I should know. I dated them.
Careful, Eddie.
Trina's in there, so I don't have to worry about it.
I know, but still. All right.
I'll hear it when I go inside. What are you talking
So
about?
then
What are you doing? I'm like, nothing. I didn't do anything wrong.
right? All right. So then we go into the main event of last year's SummerSlam. Of course, the Bloodline Rules match for the undisputed WWE Championship. Solo Sikoa versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Um, this was a crazy match. Of course, included the return of your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Cody walks out, still the undisputed WWE champion. Pretty good match. Won't say the best match in Cody's title reign, but still a decent match. A year later, we're looking at Solo as the United States champion, who will go into SummerSlam this year defending that title against a man that was on his side at SummerSlam last year in that Bloodline Rules match. Of course, Jacob Fatu inside a 15-foot high steel cage. So Solo at least will be walking in with the title. Whether or not he'll be walking out with that title, I'm not going to say what my prediction is on that until Friday, but we'll see what happens there. And then, of course, Cody going from being the undisputed WWE champion in a Bloodline Rules match last year to main eventing SummerSlam again this year, this time being the challenger for the undisputed WWE championship against John Cena in John Cena's final SummerSlam match.
I mean, like you said, Solo last year was in the main event. I don't want to say it. I don't think he was ready yet. I mean, this year I think he's ready, but he's the United States champion. I think it's perfect
Right.
that he's still in it. He still has a lot of seasoning to do, so I like him. I like him in the mid card as the United States champion against Jacob Fatu, who is, I mean, he is just a beast. I mean, I love his work, and especially in a steel cage match, which you don't really get much steel cage matches. I mean, if you go into the history of SummerSlam, 1990, you had Ultimate Warrior versus Ravish and Rick Rude for the World Wrestling Federation title. That was a good match, and that was Rude's last major run with the company before he went to WCW and was a part of the Dangerous Alliance to take care of Sting. So that's that. Hold on a minute. Hurry up, bitch. I hate people. Sorry. And then you got the Hitman Bret Hart versus Owen in Chicago. In Chicago. In Chicago at the United Center. I mean, in Chicago. I mean, that was a good match. I mean, I don't
Yes.
think was there any other SummerSlam that had a cage match before that after '94. I was wondering about that.
After that,
Well, I know it was Triple H and Mick Foley, right?
I don't. Well, they had a Hell in a Cell match, not a steel cage match.
Was it at '97?
That
They
was at
had
the
that steel
SummerSlam.
cage. SummerSlam '97. I think it was Mick versus Hunter, and
Oh
and
man.
but he was as Mankind. He was as Mankind, and yeah. I mean, I think that was the last.
I'm gonna
97
find
was the
out for
last
sure.
one.
I'm looking it up on Google. 1 second. Whoops. Because WWE has a whole section videos of it. So it loads here. Right, no one in '94. Wow, that's showing me all different ones. It doesn't show me just in SummerSlam like it was supposed to. Yeah, you're right. Mankind and Triple H at SummerSlam '97. It looks like probably was the last steel cage match at SummerSlam.
That is insane.
Forgot about that one.
That is insane. That was the last steel cage match.
Right?
Oh, wait a minute. Was there a tag team cage match at SummerSlam when you had the Brothers of Destruction going up against Canyon and Diamond Dallas to unify the tag
Hold
team
on.
ta-
Let's see for sure.
tag team and WCW tag team titles?
Was that at SummerSlam you're talking about?
Oh, this isn't hot.
So, oh yeah, that was a steel cage match too. You're right. The Brothers of Destruction, DDP, and Canyon at SummerSlam 2001,
God, how do I know all this?
where of course the Brothers of Destruction won.
How do I know
Because you're the professor.
I know. I'm not Mike Tenay. Sorry, I don't make his money. Yeah.
Right? Let me see. Make sure there was no other steel cage matches. Boss count anywhere. Fatal four ways. No holds barred. Elimination chamber. All at 2003s. Death till death do us part match, but that wasn't a steel cage. Triple threat. Diva dodgeball. Diva dodgeball. Interesting little fact. Since we're talking, had mentioned him earlier. Hulk Hogan's last WWE match was at SummerSlam with Randy Orton, by the way.
Okay, I didn't hear you. What you said?
Tidbit there. 2006. Little fact that Hulk Hogan's last ever WWE match was against Randy Orton at SummerSlam 2006.
That is insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not seeing any other steel cage matches. I'm going to keep looking. But yeah, you can keep checking this out. Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, people don't
So it'll
know
be,
this,
of course, a
but
big deal that it's Cena's last.
people don't know this. And speaking of Hogan,
Go ahead.
Hogan only had four, count them four, ring entrants, combined in two companies. The first one before Real American, he had Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, and then he got Real American by Rick Derringer, and then the NWO one. I'm sorry, not the NWO one. He got American made, You know, with Jimmy Hart that made that one in WCW. Then the New World Order one. Then the bam 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 bam, and then Voodoo King by Jimi Hendrix. That was one of his other ones. And then when he's with the NWO Wolfpack, he used that one too. You know, so Hogan had about altogether Hogan's career. He had about five good musics, but the one I like when
Theme
you
song.
could say it was Real American. Real American was the best one.
Yes. Yes, for sure. Although I do still hear that Jimi Hendrix song, and the first thing I think of, and it's funny because we were listening to it a couple weeks ago at work, and one of the newer guys that started working there, he's a wrestling fan too. He said, "Hey, that's Hulk Hogan's song." First thing you think of when you hear a Jimi Hendrix song, come on, and you start hearing that riff, that guitar going.
Chop it down and everybody. The biggest icon in wrestling.
Yes.
New world order. You know. The stars and stripes running through his veins. He was born and raised in the U.S. of A. Other country on his hand. He's American made. He's American made. He's American made. American. Yeah, I like that one.
I still have, yeah, it was okay. I have the WWE anthology CDs, the 3-disc set that has both of those Hulk Hogan theme songs on it, the
Oh yeah.
WWE and the WCW versions. I haven't listened to them in a long time, but
Oh God. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I had the Hulk Hogan.
we've gone off the rails.
Yeah, I know. We're just waiting. Yeah, I had the Hulk Hogan workout set back in the day. The Hulk Hogan workout set with these blue dumbbells with rope and yes, I always took my Hulk Hogan vitamins and my Flintstones vitamins at once. And yeah, and then I had my Hulk Hogan lunchbox. So yeah, I was really deep in the Hulkamania. But thank
Yeah.
God I never thank
So
God I
yes, I
never
did look through the rest of them.
thank God I never tried Hulk Hogan pasta.
Thank God I never tried home.
Right? Ah, didn't mention that. The Miz was technically the host of SummerSlam last year. Jelly Roll did do a musical appearance as well. Choke slammed Austin Theory.
Hasn't everybody?
All right. But yes, 2001, the Brothers of Destruction versus DDP and Chris Kanyon was the last SummerSlam steel cage match. So
Holy shit, 24 years.
yes, that is huge. All different kinds of other stipulation matches, but
Oh yeah.
But on the flip side of that, like I was saying, Cody, of course, in the main event again against John Cena this time. Cena's last SummerSlam match, which is going to be a big deal. Not only is it just his last match. It's, of course, a street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. We could see a lot of shenanigans happen in that match like we did this Bloodline Rules match. Who knows? Coming out of the Bloodline Rules match, we led to Roman and Cody teaming up at Bad Blood, of course, in the tag team match, which kind of led to the whole Cody and Cena thing. So be interesting to see how that plays out and where Cody and Cena end up at the end of SummerSlam this year.
I gotta say, I think because of all the add-ons of the second night of SummerSlam, I hope that it lives up to the expectations of last year's. Yeah, last year's was okay, but still, you're going another night with SummerSlam, and first time ever. And if anybody says no, they did it again, they did it before. No, this is the very first night, ladies and gentlemen, of the 2-night spectacular that is SummerSlam that started in 1988 at Madison Square Garden. The main event that night was the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks. I should know because I was there and I was 7 years old. So, yeah, it's going to be a good night of action. SummerSlam has always been one of my favorite four of the original four. So I feel like this one's got to live up, and it looks like the card is stacked. I know we still have some more to fill out, but it looks pretty good this year.
Yeah, it does. We'll see how the chips fall, if you will, how the cards unfold. But should be a fun time. See how things turn out and who will have gold around their waist and who will be losing that gold come the end of Saturday and Sunday night next weekend. So,
oh, yeah.
The landscape of WWE could look a little different. SummerSlam could look a lot different, really.
I always like what the announcers say. This Saturday and Sunday, the landscape of the WWE might change. And like they say, anything can happen in the WWE. And it comes to fruition that it is.
That's true. I mean, to piggyback a little bit off of that, none of us ever expected Naomi to cash in at the end of Evolution and walk out as the new Women's World Champion. So, case in point there, anything can happen.
I mean, hell.
Now she's changed up a lot of things for me when it comes to SummerSlam. So.
I mean, with me, I was like saying, "What the hell just happened?" I thought she was going after the women's championship, and all of a sudden, boom, she's the world heavyweight champion. I'm like, what the hell just happened? This is what happened when you have injuries. This is what happened when you have injuries,
Right.
and you gotta improvise.
Yep, you got to pivot. All right. So, pretty good show. I felt like we've seen some really good shows. We've seen some stinkers over the years. I thought last year was pretty good for the most part. Only one match that I would say wasn't as good as what it should have been, really. Was Bayley and Nia. The rest, for the most part, I felt like gave you what you expected. Looking back at that card, what would you say, in your opinion, stole the show? Was the match that kind of blew your mind, if you will?
To be honest, the opener. Rena and Liv with the shocking turn of Dominic over Mommy. I feel like that was a good match. They worked really well together.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think that match was the best. The worst, you said it, was Bailey and Naya. I mean, there were some good spots there. That power bomb off of the top, off of the second rope from Bailey, and that was the only good spot of that match,
right.
and stuff like that. But other than that, I felt like it was. I give it a C minus for the show because there were some clunkers, and then there were some good matches. There's more stuff that to be had, with some of the rivalries that we're going into this year, and this one's gonna be hard because we have to rate 2 nights now. We can't just do night one was this, night one was that. We can't do one. We can't do one
Right.
one thing because this is history making. This is history making, and
Yes,
a person that
it
been
is,
to
man.
multiple some a person that's been to multiple SummerSlams in his lifetime. This is unprecedented, and it's got to live up to this. SummerSlam for me has always been a hit and miss, but it's still a part of the Big Four, and you don't like dissing the
Right.
Big Four. You know, So yeah,
Right.
I got to see what I think, and then this year's a little different because we got some returns of wrestlers that weren't even was not even in the company last year due to injuries or stuff like that.
Right. Like the Charlotte Flairs and the Alexa Blisses, for that matter.
Yeah, and we got some call ups that weren't even on the roster, and Roxanne Perez, and you know,
Like I was saying,
and and Raquel wasn't even on the roster. I mean, she was, but she was out with that skin condition, so she wasn't even there.
she was out injured. Right. It'll be interesting to see. For me, last year's, I feel like Drew and Punk was solid, but again, wasn't their best match out of their rivalry. I felt like LA Knight and Logan Paul was right up there with Liv and Rhea, though. Those were probably the two top matches, in my opinion, at SummerSlam last
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
Clunkers wise, like you said, Nia and Bayley probably the worst, and then Cody and Solo, I think, was kind of down there in the lower part of it as well. Which I hate to say about a main event, but it just was a little bit lackluster. The only big thing that came out of it was Roman's return, since we hadn't seen him since WrestleMania. So,
hmm I feel like that's every year now.
so yeah, I think I'd agree with you. See, almost right. Except for this year, he came back a couple weeks before SummerSlam after getting written off the night after WrestleMania. All right. So with that, get rid of this. Yes. Whoops. I didn't want to pause you. I just wanted to get you back up to where I had you. There we go. All right. Well, I think that's about the main thing to talk about for that show. Um, again, we plan on being on here. I'm going to say probably about 10-15, just to give us a few minutes to get things set up before we get started after SmackDown on Friday night. We'll make sure John said that he'll do whatever he has to be on here. So if not, well, I'm sure he'll send us his predictions otherwise. But he doesn't work Saturdays, so he should be good to go. And I know I'm off Saturday and Sunday. So if we had to, we could always do it early Saturday as well. But right now, the plan is to do it Friday night. We'll see what happens from there because there is no NXT on Saturday. So we could. We'll let you know if anything changes. it has been a very interesting week. I enjoyed the tribute show, the tribute video, at least they did for Hulk Hogan on SmackDown last night, or Friday night. I mean, 2 nights ago. Glad Tony Schiavone at least brought it up on Collision last night. That was the first time AEW even mentioned anything about it. Never mentioned it on social media or nothing until then. But we're not going to go off on that because we'd be here another hour. Let's hope for a great week this week. I'm sure they'll probably show that Hulk Hogan tribute video again on Raw tomorrow night. Maybe have a 10-bell salute again. We'll see. But SummerSlam, of course, at the end of the week, Saturday and Sunday. Huge event. We'll see what MetLife Stadium brings us for those 2 nights. Jelly Roll goes from being a musical guest to being part of the show. Miz was the guest host last year, not even on the card this year because he just came back from doing American Gladiators, hosting that. A lot of things changed, a lot of things stay the same, but I'm expecting big things at SummerSlam next weekend.
And wasn't Cardi B supposed to host?
Event. Oh. She is going to be still hosting the show, even though they haven't advertised it that much lately.
Yeah.
I was just going to mention that as you said that. So
yeah.
Be interesting to see what she brings to the show as well.
It's all right. She's from the Bronx, too, so you know it's going to be classic.
She's been talking all kinds of smack on social media with... What's that?
Cardi B's from the Bronx, so you know my girl. We know how to talk.
Right? He's been talking all kinds of smack with Bayley and some of the other wrestlers on social media, so we'll see if she gets into it with anybody at SummerSlam.
Chelsea Green. I don't know why, but...
All right. I didn't own... I was thinking Hulk Hogan was on it I'm wearing today, but he's not. But at least you had an NWO shirt to kind of give us a little bit of a Hulk Hogan feel in a way tonight. All we've got for you tonight. We will see you guys for our prediction show, and then we look forward to SummerSlam. We've talked about it. We probably will do a watch along more than likely during the shows as well. So we will catch you guys later on towards the end of this week. Be kind to yourselves and each other. We will see you next time. I'm going to see if this is going to work. It won't let me. Never mind. Good night.